When you sit back and think about it, we were just counting down the days to the NFL draft. We were just talking about who was going to coach the Dallas Cowboys. And now OTAs and minicamp is over. Guys, this offseason has been one for the books. I think it's one that is extremely important because unlike other off seasons, right, this team needed to find an identity. I think they found one. Communication, love, physicalness, the staff, but most importantly, energy. This team is going to embody the staff's energy. But I wanted to talk about the 10 risers from this offseason. I wanted to rank them. Who won the offseason and why? I think that there are a faction of fans who say, we got to wait and see. And yes, we do. But just to get to this point, no longer having Mike McCarthy as this head coach, moving towards the Brian Schottenheimer regime, and how it's turned out, I think all of this matters because it's the first time. It's his program. And just seeing how it's turned out, to me, it's been pretty cool. Let's rank 10 of the biggest offseason winners for the Dallas Cowboys. It could be a coach. It could be a player. It could be the front office. But let's rank these winners. How did they win? What did they do to set up themselves for training camp and ultimately for the season? Let's go. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Footsie King as always. Thank you all for liking, sharing, subscribing. I got a dope one here for you guys. And to me, the honorable mention has to go to Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer has come in and completely given this building, these players, everybody life like he has. And he's doing it authentically. He's doing it intentionally. You know, one of his favorite words is intentionality. We want to do things with intentionality. He's doing it by bringing in the staff. You know, there was an instance where he was talking in this press conference where he was talking about Clayton Adams calling plays, and he was giving him an opportunity to call plays. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. Stuff like that is how you keep the staff happy. Stuff like that is how you really let them know that their ideas matter, how they would do things matter. And as a head coach, even though Brian Schottenheimer is going to be the play caller, one thing that I think that he's doing well is listening. Right? When you watch a guy in Clayton Adams, hey, you know what, Clayton, you call this series. Now you know how Clayton thinks. Now you know when you get in the red area, hey, Clayton, do you like this? Okay, cool. And that's just one example. We've heard these examples from Matt Eberflus, who actually just had a really good interview/podcast with Ed Warder that I will reference in this video. And I think those are the things that make Brian Schottenheimer special. You hear that he's relatable to the players. He shows that he's relatable to the players. There's going to be times, and understand this, if this goes haywire and there's no discipline, all of this goes out the window. But just the fact that the fan base was torn on Brian Schottenheimer, including myself, didn't know, like it, love it, wait and see. I got to tell you, he's aced this offseason, and I couldn't be more happy to have a coach who understands what this team needs. This team needed juice. This team needed energy. That's why he's my honorable mention. Number one, guys, the biggest winner of this offseason is Dak Prescott for a few reasons. Dak Prescott just got George Pickens. Dak Prescott got CeeDee Lamb for the whole offseason. He's going to have him for training camp. Knock on wood. He's going to have him for training camp. Knock on wood. I want to say that twice. Most importantly, he's healthy. Dak Prescott is healthy, and he has a fresh mindset. He's ready to go. You can tell. You can tell that he understands that, like, he may not have much time left. He does have time. He's a healthy guy. He stays locked in, but these years start to stack up. Like he said, these first 10 years went quick. But I think bringing in George Pickens, right? Him and George are already getting on the same page. I think that Dak will benefit from having Brian Schottenheimer because, let's be honest, Shotty is going to cater to how Dak wants to do things. And I think that that's how it should be. You know, we didn't see the deep shots that we needed to see last year because Mike wanted to throw the ball quick. And obviously, yes, our offensive line could have been better. But bringing in George Pickens, having a healthy CeeDee Lamb, whatever else you're going to use receiver-wise, you know that Dak can push the ball downfield. You know that play action is where Dak really wins. You know all of these things. You know pre-snap motion. Make the offense make sense for the guy. And I think that if you do that, Dak will have a good year. You add the run game in, you sprinkle the run game in. But just the fact that he's healthy, he's 100% the biggest winner because we got to remember, When Dak went down, there was, okay, Cooper Rush, he's done it. He can get through games fine. But after that Atlanta game, the season just felt like it was over. The season just felt like it had no life, no juice, and it didn't. So coming out of this, right, with the Brian Schottenheimer who's bringing energy, with the Dak Prescott who we know with weapons being protected is going to make throws, you have to feel good about what they've done this offseason. Number 2, CeeDee Lamb. And I told you guys, when it comes to these winners, it's not going to be, CeeDee Lamb going out there dominating. We know he's going to do that. CeeDee Lamb is the biggest winner because he got George Pickens. He got his Robin, and I think he got a souped-up Robin. Like Sonic Knuckles. These guys are going to make plays. And I'm running with it. I'm saying it. There is now no longer wide receiver 3 talks for Foots. The wide receiver 3, that doesn't even matter. It's CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, everybody else go make a play. If it's Mingo this game, go make a play. If it's Turpin and he's running by guys, if it's Ferguson, whoever it is, go make a play. Because those 2 guys are gonna make plays. CeeDee Lamb, you could tell just how much he cares about the game. You think about it. We saw this viral video of Deebo Samuel, and he looks out of shape. And obviously there are people that will explain things away and whatever. Deebo looks out of shape. It is what it is. And then you look at CeeDee Lamb, he's been consistent that he's spending millions on his health, on his body, on his recovery. He cares about the game. It hurt him. Watch his documentary. It hurt him not to be around the football team last year. CeeDee Lamb, he is by far one of the biggest winners because CeeDee Lamb is going to be able to be CeeDee Lamb. And I think that's a win. He won't be getting coverages rolled his way. He won't be getting doubled and triple teamed and none of that. Now you have to play the defense straight, and that's very exciting. Dak Prescott had this to say about George Pickens. He's a guy that loves football, loves his teammates, and he's been excited to be here every day. He's been here early, no concerns. I'm just super excited that he's on our team. he's one of those guys. Guys, George Pickens is ranked number 3 on my winners list because George Pickens is winning because he's around a good quarterback. He's around a good offensive structure. We heard him say, and I love what he said. He said, listen, Brian Schottenheimer, the biggest thing about Brian Schottenheimer is the offense isn't going to be stagnant. AKA a shot at Arthur Smith. They kept George Pickens on the outside. They didn't play him as a big slot. They didn't run him over the middle of the field. It was literally play action, run deep. That was it. And that's just not using his skill set to the max. We heard and saw Patrick Nosey Walker say, listen, George Pickens is a better route runner than people give him credit for. I said this early on. If you go watch his rookie year, you see he can win on in-breaker. He can win on out-breaker. He can win on post corner. He can win on all these different route stems, but the Steelers just wouldn't do it. They wouldn't use it. It was post. It was 9. It was comeback. It was slant. He has so much more in his bag. He can be a big slot. He could be a power slot. He could do these things. And I think that George Pickens is going to benefit from a creative mind in Brian Schottenheimer and a great quarterback in Dak Prescott. Number 5, and a super, super interesting one that I didn't have in my bingo cards, Kaiir Elam. The staff is raving about Kaiir Elam. Again, I said I will reference that podcast with Matt Eberflus and Ed Warder. And one of the things that I noticed was Ed Warder said, how do you feel about the cornerback position, Matt? You know what Matt said? I know people may think that we're not where we want to be, but I tell you this, Kaiir Elam is going to make plays. He's been good. Guys, he's winning right now because he's making the most of his opportunities. Now, pads are going to come on. He's going to have to guard CeeDee Lamb. He's going to have to guard George Pickens. But to this point, again, this is a new program. This is new for all these guys. To this point where Kaiir Elam has been at, he's made plays. He's been where he's supposed to be. He's looked like an athletic guy. Matt Eberflus came out and said, the way we're going to play defense around here is going to be disciplined. We're going to make sure that we're playing to these guys' skill sets. Did the Bills do that? We're not going to make excuses for Kaiir Elam. He wasn't good enough. Does that mean that his career is over? No, it does not. I'm very excited about Elam. Matt Eberflus referenced that he coached his dad. They had these conversations. They talked about what he was going to be in this scheme. So I'm just really excited for him. And the fact that he's already won up to this point, because we got to remember, he doesn't have the luxury of a Trayvon Diggs, or guys who are making a lot of money. He has to come in and win now. He has to get reps now, and I think he's done a great job of that. That last one was number 4. Number 5, guys, Tyler Gayton. We got to wait. Now, this is one we do need to wait until a pass come on. But Brian Schottenheimer can't stop talking about the guy. He looks different. He looks like he's more in shape. He came out and said himself, cut out a bunch of junk food, cut out sugar, cut out eating late. I want to make sure that I'm in tip-top shape. He's working with Tyron Smith. He's doing the things. Now, he goes out there week 1, gives up 3 sacks. None of it matters. I got to be honest. None of it matters. But to hear that he's self-aware with, I wasn't good enough. I was not good enough. And tackle is hard to play. I did content on it. It's hard. This isn't easy. And Gayton understands this. He didn't have a lot of reps in college at tackle. He was so athletic, better than everybody, and he could win with bad technique. In the NFL, you can't win with bad technique. So it's refreshing to see that a young player is taking accountability. He's not pointing a finger at you. He's not doing it. He's saying, I need to be better. And you can't help but say, you know what, dang, he gets it. And the fact that he's putting in the work, and the fact that Brian Schottenheimer is going out his way to talk about him, that's what you want. Number 6, Joe Milton, guys. Joe Milton. Joe Milton has become one of those guys that is just like, he is really going to benefit from being around Dak Prescott. And if he goes out, has a good preseason, let's say the season doesn't go the way you want it to, anything can happen, right? Cool. What if Joe Milton is possibly your future? Had John Machado on, John said it best. He plays with confidence. He throws the ball with confidence. He's built confidently. Like, look at him. Dude is huge. Pause. But he's a big guy. All right, sturdy guy. So you just think about it, you're like, man, preseason training camp is going to be important for him. But he's already putting together days where he's going 10 for 10. He'll have an interception here. He'll have a knucklehead throw there. But when you have that type of arm talent, you can do those things. Let's be honest. And he's done those things, and he's done them at a high clip so far. Okay? But he is a winner. People don't want to they don't want to say this. They don't want to talk about it. I will. Joe Milton so far is a winner. And I think that it's going to be interesting to see, okay, he starts getting these preseason games. He starts making plays. Does Dallas even play him a lot? We'll see. This is going to be fun for sure. Number 7, Miles Sanders. Bobby Bell had this to say about Miles Sanders.
First team running back. Once again, it was Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams splitting first team work. The one change that I saw anyway is that it was consistently Sanders taking the snaps with the first team the very first time each time they go out there. Previously at practices, it had been Javonte Williams getting those very first reps before they started rotating with the first team. Now it's Miles Sanders getting them. And I think, again, as you watch him, you just see, I think you see more life in his legs. You see more like a fresher player. Yesterday, he had this one moment where I was like, all right, that's the kind of thing that I just think shows how juiced up he is right now.
Essentially, Miles Sanders so far is winning the running back battle. You see the burst, and with what the Cowboys want to be, he doesn't have to be Saquon Barkley, run the ball every rep. But when he does get his reps, he needs to have burst. He needs to play well. It sounds like he's winning the battle. Now, again, running back, tackle, defensive end, line. You got to, all that's with the asterisk because the physicalness of it is, you need to know, okay, how physical, right? But I'm just saying, when you hear that he's playing well, when you hear that he looks the part, and when you hear that he's getting the most reps with the ones, my ears do perk up. Miles Sanders is winning this offseason. Number 8, and one that's near and dear to my heart, Brevin Spanford. Not going to spend too much time on it because I've talked about it over and over again. He blocks well. He's 6'6". He's now catching the ball well. He's 6'6". He's 6'6". He's 6'6". He's 6'6". You can't teach that type of height. You can't. Brian Schottenheimer in his closeout press conference said it best. He said, listen, this guy's more than a pass pro guy. This guy's more than a run blocker. This guy's catching the ball at a high clip. He's moving well. I've heard things like he's stiff. I've heard some of that stuff. He's 6'6". He's 6'7". He's 6'8". Whatever it is, he's huge. Another big, imposing athlete, but he's also more physical than Luke Schoonmaker, who is probably not winning this offseason, according to what I've heard. But he's more physical than Luke Schoonmaker, and he will do the dirty work. So you can keep him in there on 12 personnel, leak him out into the flats, leak him over the middle of the field, and he's a big target for Dak. It's going to be interesting. It was reported that he got a lot of first-team reps at one point during minicamp over Jake Ferguson. So don't tell me that they're not thinking about this, and don't tell me that Brian Schottenheimer isn't interested. Brevin Spanford is going to have a role on this offense next year, guys. Number 9, Jonathan Mingo. Won't spend a lot of time here. It's just interesting to me that his name last week was mentioned a lot. Caught a touchdown from Joe Milton, caught a few nice passes from Dak Prescott. He has the innate ability to be physical, and he's a bigger body at receiver. Can run after the catch. I don't know what the separation will look like, but if he does open up that catch radius, if he has a good target, right, he presents a big target. Again, does he fall in that other guy's category? Again, Kevontae Turpin, other guy. Jalen Tolbert, other guy. Jonathan Mingo, other guy. These guys aren't my receiver 3. I don't care to put a name on receiver 3. You are the guys that need to step up. When you get your reps, just step up. And I think that Jonathan Mingo, if we're being honest, the fact that he's so physical, you watch this guy at Ole Miss. He was the goods now. Goes to Carolina, it doesn't work out, but he still has some juice, right? Comes here, he's playing with Cooper Rush. I love Cooper Rush, but it ain't it. So just the fact that his name is being mentioned makes it's exciting. And number 10, last but certainly not least, I went this way with it. Donovan Azaraku, somebody who I looked at and said was a steal for me. Then Matt Eberflus came out on that podcast and said, you talk about a rookie who's going to basically make plays, his athleticism, he's electric. You can see it. These are Matt Eberflus's words. And then Brian Schottenheimer went on to rave. He's really raved about Donovan Azaraku. And so the fact that Donovan Azaraku is really mature, he's really professional. When you listen to him, you're like, you know what? This guy gets it. He's a little undersized, but he has pass rushing juice that you just can't coach. So outside of Dante Fowler and Micah Parsons, who on this team can really scream off the edge and get the quarterback? Donovan Azaraku can. Donovan Azaraku has the bend and the twitch fibers to do things that certain players on this roster just can't do. He's winning the offseason because he's being noticed. And like they said, John said it, had him on the show, try to give you guys that content. A few others have said it in the space. He has the innate ability to capture an edge, even as a young player, even if he's going to struggle with the run. One thing he can do is get skinny, get low around that corner, and give quarterbacks hell. So you have that. You have Micah. That's going to be a fun, really pairing for years to come. So, guys, I wanted to get this content out because as we get into this dead period, the content will be more like think pieces, talking about film, stuff like that. But I will say, those who think that OTAs don't matter is false. Those who think that minicamp don't matter is false. With a new regime, a new coaching staff, a new offense, a new defense, you better make sure that you're on the same page. And it starts in OTAs. It starts with getting in your bag, getting the timing right, all those types of things. So I'm excited about this team. And a lot of that has come because Brian Schottenheimer knows what he's doing. The front office made some moves. They brought in Pickens. They brought in a few other guys in free agency to try to piece this team together with the right mix of young guys and vets. So I'm excited. I hope that you guys are. We were able to make it through. So as always, thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Content is going to keep being pushed out on this channel. Interviews, content, film sessions, all that type of stuff. So you guys keep growing with me. We're on the road to 50K. As always, thank you all for liking, sharing, and subscribing. It's your boy, Fuss the King. Peace.